Hello everybody and welcome back to another one of my videos. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. And so today's video is about light attack weaving. There's still a lot of people in my community and people I've seen talking about it and just kind of overall wonderment at what light weaving is, how how you do it, and be effective with it, and when do you do it. The when has come up lately, mostly because you've got all these heavy attack builds, and people are wondering about, well, when do I do light attacks, within there? Because I hear I should still be doing it, and they hear these words like parsing and weaving, and what's going on with that. Well, let's kind of just talk a little bit to begin about what the history of light weaving is. The idea is that when the game first started, players found out that there was a little hiccup in the game. And what that hiccup was is that you have a little bit of time between when you cast your first skill and your second skill and your third skill and so on. There's a little bit of time, and you can sneak in a light attack. Well, when you sneak in a light attack, you're actually going to be doing more overall damage. So, for instance, I won't do it on the big guy here because he's going to throw down a whole bunch of like spears and give me a whole bunch of buffs and everything. I just want to show you what's going on. So let's go over to this guy over here. So here's my light attack with a staff. Boom. There's the light attack. All right, just doing a little quick attack. A heavy attack loads up a lot longer, does more damage. All right, just a little light attack. All right. Now, between my skills, and I'm just going to go down the row. I've got one skill there that takes about 3 seconds before it goes off. I've got another skill, the bird. I've got another skill that does an AoE. I've got another skill that does the Arctic winds around me. So those are my skills. And if you see me when here, let me shut it off. When I activate these skills, all right, I'm not doing anything in between. All right, I'm just activating them. All right, how long does it take this guy to get? Ah, there he is. Oh yeah, that's right. He falls through the ceiling. It's very cool. I go there, I go there, I go there, I go there. And that is as fast as I can do them. I know you can't see my fingers in there, but there's time in between where I can press them. If I press it too fast, they just don't go off. So I have my first one, my second one, my third one, my fourth one. And that's about the tempo. So boom, 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 boom. You might hear people talking about this kind of like a heartbeat, as you're going through your skills. Well, they said we figured out within that heartbeat, I can do a light attack, then the skill, a light attack, then the skill, a light attack, then the skill, a light attack, and then the skill. All right, which you might have seen that took me a lot longer to do, of course. But you can get yourself through a little bit of practice to get yourself that tempo down, that rhythm down. And where I before was doing 1, 2, 3, 4, I can now go light 1, light 2, light 3, light 4. Did you catch that? It's kind of fast. Yeah, when you get used to seeing something, so you'll just see that little bit of white. Actually, it's good to do it on this ice stuff so you can see it. That little bit of white come out before every single cast of a skill. So, light 1, light 2, light 3, light 4. That's about as perfect, or about as perfect as I can do, with doing that light attacks. And because you're doing it kind of in a flow like that, we call it weaving. You're weaving it into the fabric of your skills. So without it, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I gotta get a little bit of magic back so I can cast all my skills. Hold on, let me do a heavy attack to get back some of my resources. And there we go. And now I can do light 1, light 2, light 3, light 4. All right. So now you don't have to be that fast like I am at it, but it's one of those things that you can practice. Okay? And so, like, when you're just starting out, what I suggest doing is taking one skill and working that up to a speed. And why we can only go that fast, if you go any faster, you'll miss a light attack. That's when you see a lot of people parsing and trying to get these big numbers. That's actually what they're trying to do. They're trying to get their timings down between their light attacks and their skills. So what I would do is that I would start, and I'm like, okay, so there's my light attack. We'll use my number 2, my bird. All right, so we're going to go light attack, bird. Light attack, bird. And then we figured out that you kind of want to do the light attack skill and then a slight little pause. So like I said, that's where the heartbeat comes in. It comes in like da-dome, 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 da-dome. So I go da-dome, 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 da-dome. Because the skill does take a little bit longer to go off. Some skills are faster than others, by the way, in there. But that's, you know, but to start off, I'm like, light attack, skill. 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 Light attack. Oh, did you see that one? I missed it. I missed 2 in the row there because I started to go too fast. Yeah. So that's how light attacks work. And again, it's different with all different skills. All right. So if I do my number 3 there, my AoE, go light attack skill, light attack skill, light attack skill. This one I almost kind of can go a little faster. The bird has a little bit of a delay to it. Yeah. So that's how that works. So light attack skill, light attack. And it's the same if you have a melee weapon, bow or staff or whatever. So go through each one and feel how long each one takes. And you're like, oh gosh, I have a whole lot of skills. You know, you might be using 2 bars, you know, to get the feeling for, you know, all those different skills and all those different timings. Oh my gosh, it'll take forever. Well, that's what people do. That's what people do when they parse. When you see these people put up these huge numbers, especially these 100K plus numbers, that's what they're doing. They're trying to get that perfect parse. I really got to know about it on my Nightblade. Because if I missed a light attack, oh my gosh, for that class, it threw out, at least for me, it threw off my damage big time. So yeah, so it's all this pacing within there. Now, you might be saying, hey, I started doing heavy attack builds because I didn't want to have to deal with all this stuff. Well, that's exactly what you should be thinking in here. Because a light attack build, a heavy attack build, sorry, is all about using that long windup and giving yourself some time to do things. All right? But the great thing about it is that you can put all your skills down, try to add those light attacks. If you happen not to get one, it's okay because it's not the biggest part of your overall damage. Your heavy attacks will. So what I try to do when I start getting going, I see an enemy up there, I don't light attack at first because with this character, I want my little beetles to go off, my shocks to go off. So I set that first, and then I wait a little bit, and I go light attack skill. And boom, they both went off. Light attack skill, and now I'm heavy attacking. Heavy attack, heavy attack, heavy attack. Oh, let me reapply a skill. So light attack skill, light attack skill, light attack skill, light attack skill. Okay, oh, let me start to do my heavy attacks again. So here's a little bit of the when do I do it. So I showed you the how. The when is usually when you're all done with laying down usually an AoE, a dot, or something like that in there. You want to do a light attack before every skill. And just make it that habit. It's now just a habit with me. Every time I go to do a skill, it's not the skill. For me, it's always light attack skill. It just is. Every time I go to do a skill, doesn't matter what the skill is, even if it's the skill number 5 that I never use, I would do light attack skill. Light attack skill. Yeah. Light attack skill. Changing around all my skills. Light attack skill. Doing them out of order. It always is my habit. And then I go into my heavy attacks. Because your heavy attack builds, your heavy attack is going to be doing the brunt of your damage. Alright? So I hope that's starting to make a little bit more sense. Now, you might be saying, as you're doing stuff, or even as I'm doing stuff, you're like, wait, some of those, dots, you are off of cooldown. You got to make sure to have all your dots. Yeah, that's part of the gameplay of it. It's like, oh, okay, my first one is up. Let me get down another one. And here, and stuff like that. Oh, my third one is down. Let me do another one. All right, as you're going along. And every time I put one of those down, I do light attack skill, but then I'm right back to my heavy attacks. All right, oh, my number one is there. Boom, boom. There. And if I happen to miss a light attack, it's no big whoop. It's no big whoop at all. Because it's all about the heavy attack damage and getting these skills down. Yeah. One of the things I really like about the Endless Archive is that it's kind of teaching us, these more survivability builds, these builds that, can survive and then take out groups. It's not about having the fastest damage as possible. Because that's really what a DPS, damage per second, that's what a parse is. How much can you get out damage as quickly as possible? All right? And the only time you need that is when you're doing, some veteran hard modes or you're doing trifectas or something like that, because you need everybody to kind of work as a unit. You need your DPS to burn things down as quickly as possible. But for like 99% of the rest of the game, you don't need it at all. You need to survive. We always hear those phrases of dead DPS is no DPS. So we really have been finding out a lot of things. I think that's why Frostagon here, because he has a great balance of both, of healing and sustain and stuff with damage. He can take a few hits, keep on ticking and be able to dish it out as well. I think that's why people have been really enjoying him. So yeah. So again, just to kind of sum up a little bit, if you can practice, get yourself a parsing dummy. It doesn't matter which one, big one or small one or whatever. Just something that you can practice. Okay, there's my light attack and my skill, my light attack and my different skill, and try to go through that. Okay. And again, if you happen to miss one, hey, that's okay. If I'm in the middle of a heavy attack and like you see my number one skill is blinking there, so like that, I do a heavy attack and then I go into to that skill and I miss out on the light attack damage, that's fine. Yeah. A parse for when you're doing something, for a trial or anything like that, that's when those things kind of matter, But when we're doing something like this, when we're just trying to do our best within a rotation and to know how that feels within it, this is all that you need to do. You just kind of take your time with it. I used to do it on Saturdays when I had my Nightblade. I was learning my Nightblade in there. I would just come in on a Saturday. I said, I get my wrist done, do my other stuff. I was like, okay, let me do a little bit of parsing. Light attack skill, light attack skill, light attack skill, light attack skill. Yeah. And then for us, with our wonderful heavy attacks, as soon as we got all of our skills down, boom, all right, we can start into our heavy attacks and move around and go. And if one of my stuff is done, boom, boom, got it back up, go back into my heavy attacks. Yeah, because I know that was a question for me too when I started doing heavy attacks. It's like, when do I do my heavies and when do I do my lights? And, if I always have a skill that's going to be on cooldown, or by the time I get through them all, am I always light attacking and stuff like that? Well, that's kind of what you find out, if you've got, especially if you have a 2-bar build, you go through your entire rotation. By the time it comes back around again, you're still light attacking. So that's why a heavy attack build works a lot better with a 1-bar setup. That's really the reason. Because if you look at my skills here, the bear is going to be on his own. I don't have to worry about it. I've got this one in here. If you've watched my videos, it's just giving us extra 10% protection. So I don't do that here. And I showed you me light weaving this, but I don't really light weave it. I'm just kind of showing you. The Arctic Blast is my heal if I need it or if enemies are too close to me and stuff. So I'm really dealing with just 3 skills. So by the time I go skill 1, skill 2, skill 3, I'm into my heavy attacks. you know, and I got at least 5 seconds to just kind of go around and do my stuff. Okay, now it's up again, so there's my weave. Boom. Boom. I've reset them, and now I'm back into my heavy attack. Yeah. And that's kind of my rotation as I do stuff. Boom, 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 and then I'm into my heavy attack. I got a bunch of enemies that are surrounding me. Boom. I'll hit my heal. I'll go back into setting these all back up again, and then I'm back into my heavy attacks. So yeah, heavy attacks are going to be your primary thing. Oh, and also sometimes, okay, everything kind of situational in this game. Sometimes, if I need a little bit more defense and I don't want to drop a shield, ice staffs are very, very good because you do a heavy attack. And look at that, it puts a shield on you. Yeah. So if I keep this up, man, it's really great. So if I put that up and I've got my Arctic Wind on me, I'm just like, oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, so I'm playing kind of more of a defensive game right now in there. But if you see, I'm still doing some good DPS. Look at that one. Look at that, I popped 32k at one shot. Yeah. So, let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say with that. The history of it, you know, going through, you know, some examples of skills with the light attack weaving, and then the heavy attack weaving in there. And yeah, and don't stress out too much about it. It is a practice skill. Like anything else, you know, like I said, I played my Nightblade for 4.5 years, and I parsed like every week in practice. I should say practice. I practiced every week. You know, how do these skills feel when I do a light attack and do that? How much time do I have? What does it feel like if I go too fast, you know, within it? So, you know, so when those situations come up, I could just, you know, feel a little bit better about the parsing. Because I know a lot of people worry about their parses, and they worry about, you know, how much DPS they put out because they want to be included in groups. And it always makes it a little bit sad when people, you know, putting up good numbers, but they feel like it's not enough, you know, or they're just trying to put up, you know, some numbers. And they're frustrated with the idea of light weaving and parsing and all that. It's a tough thing, but it's one of those things that, hey, this game isn't going anywhere. You've got time to do it. Go and practice. I really think it's like a musical instrument. I really feel like it is. It's like, these are our scales, and nobody, as I'm saying this, I'm like, nobody's going to want to do this because nobody likes doing scales. I liked doing scales when I was in my younger days and stuff. I'm just like, you know, da 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 da, light attack skill, light attack skill, light attack skill. Ba da 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 da. Let's see if I can go faster. Da 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 da, and start doing that, you know. So yeah, so that's how light attacks work, and within, and again, showing you within the a heavy attack build. So light attack before each one of your skills in there. If you miss one, don't worry. Your heavy attacks are going to be making up for it. Your light attacks aren't going to be as big of a thing for you as you do all your stuff. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions about it, put it down below. Ask me this stuff. Be glad to kind of fill you in on any either philosophies that I have with the light attack weaving, or anything that, you know, or if you have any problems with it, because I know it is a big thing of concern, because so many people learn about it and they're like, I don't know how it works, or when I'm supposed to do it, or, oh yeah, I've got a heavy attack build, and why would I do any light attacks? And you know, put those comments down below. I will respond to them. I'll give you as best advice as I can in there, and I think it'll really help out. You know, it's all this like little bit of extra damage. Think of it as extra. Don't think of it as something that is a mandatory thing that you have to do. Think of it as something that is going to add to your DPS to get you a little bit better, and you start to get better with that flow and that practice, and it's all gonna, you know, it's all gonna work out better. So, all right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. You all take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.